What's going on, Detroit Lions fans? Stephen Will, fresh off of that Monday night show, fresh off of that Sunday cheek clapping we gave those Bears yesterday. Hammer that like button. You guys have been doing a phenomenal job. We got some stuff in the works for some members. All right, I'm just gonna say that. I don't want to say nothing crazy yet. There's some stuff coming. All right, become a member. It's not required. Greatly appreciated. Hammer that subscribe button. Will. How you feeling this Monday after a Lions victory? Mondays are just they suck, but they're better after a victory, right?
Steve, we were talking off air, and I've had a day. I've had a day. The only thing holding me together is this Detroit Lions victory. I do have one thing that I didn't get an opportunity to tell you. I'm having a hard time hearing you through the headset because a friend of mine that coaches with me, he was at the game on time, unlike me, and he had a video.
Already a better man than you.
Yeah, he had a video of Ben Johnson coming out. Buddy, my ears are still ringing. I don't know how you can hear.
Yeah,
it were unruly.
And when he came out, the stadium wasn't even full. It was maybe half to three quarters, with probably a lot of people still in the concourse getting their beers and snacks before the game. But yeah, absolutely disrespectful, really. I mean, I'm glad that you teed that up. Well, unknowingly, as to what I'm going to show you, you have no idea this video that I'm about to load in. So as soon as I can figure out some technology here, I'll show you guys what we're going to get into today. 1 second, bear with me. First time in a long time. All right, as you can see, Will Rock, he shared something yesterday. Shout out to him. Hey, we're using something that you shared. Going to give you a shout out. I paused this video at the 30-second mark because the first 30 seconds of this video is just him kind of talking about some things that went wrong for the Chicago Bears and some things that the Lions did well. No big deal, but there's something that happens right around this next 10 seconds I'm going to play for you guys. I want you guys to let me know what you think.
Defense has more explosive plays than we wanted to going into the game. We knew that they were an explosive offense, and we had a plan, and we didn't contain those playmakers very well. The quarterback for them really got after us and made it.
The quarterback for them, Will, did you forget who Jared Goff was for a second there? Did you forget the man who put you in a position that you're in today to call him the quarterback for the other team? That's how you refer to Jared Goff. That is disrespect if I've ever seen it. Well, that's like saying you don't want to acknowledge Dan Campbell. You call him the head coach for the other team. You don't want to acknowledge the owner of the Detroit Lions, the Ford family. You just call them the owners of the other team. You don't want to acknowledge the quarterback, who you probably spent more hours with than your own family for years while you were the offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions, to go into a press conference after you got your butt whooped. I can understand. Probably a little salty about the loss. Didn't like a lot of things that your team did. To refer to Jared Goff as the other team's quarterback. Well, I can see it on your face. You got a little something. You got something stewing in here. I can tell. Well, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna choose my words here. Steve, most times, I would say 99% of the time, I refer to that man as the Chicago Bears coach. Steve, typically I would ask when I get a cool video like the one I saw at practice today, but I didn't ask for that video because there was somebody yelling in the background of that video, and they were yelling in an obscenity that I didn't think should be played.
Were the initials FBJ?
You must have heard it. It must have been a lot of it going on.
I was involved in it.
But so I was like, I'm not even gonna ask him to send it to me because the temptation to play it on the show would be too much. So Steve, I just don't understand it. And when Coach Campbell talks about him, he says, well, we're friends. I wish him nothing but the best. I'm going to try to get after him in this game. But outside of that, there's no rivalry. There's no, I'm not into any of that stuff. I just don't understand why he can't just be like, hey, Jared had a great game. He got after us. Why does he have to be the quarterback of that team? What did Jared do to him besides belt the ass? Besides that, What did Jared do to him to earn disrespect? If anything, Jared should be referring to him as the Chicago Bears coach because he upped and left Jared for a team in our division, Steve. The disrespect, the line was he didn't have to do that. He was one of the most sought after coaches across the NFL. He had his choosing of job openings. And I would even say jobs that weren't open, if he had his agent call and say that he was interested, they might have fired their coach to get him in here. That's how interested teams were in the Chicago Bears coach. So it's a little bit confusing to me. And I don't know why you would do it, Steve. And this is the last thing, and I'll turn it over to you. I know I got a little long-winded, but our quarterback is a chip guy. Do not give him a reason to have a chip on his shoulder. I think you just put another chip on his shoulder because Jared's going to say, hey, listen, you want to pretend like you don't know me? We'll see you again. It'll probably be the last time we see you because 0-2 teams typically don't make the playoffs. So, but we'll at least see you one more time. So, and we'll take that belt out again. So, Steve, how do you feel about it? Am I doing too much? Am I putting too much sauce on it? Is it petty and I'm overreacting? Because I wanted to say more.
No, I'll answer a question for you. When you asked what did Jared Goff do to Ben Johnson, I'll tell you exactly what he did to him, William. 23 of 28, 334 yards, and 5 touchdowns. That's what he did to Ben Johnson. All right. Offensive coach, defense got exposed. Dennis Allen was supposed to be your big hire this offseason. You know, he was kind of the diamond in the rough that a lot of people were chasing. A lot of teams who were after a defensive coordinator. Dennis Allen's name was coming up. I know he was actually very, very quickly linked to the Detroit Lions as a possible candidate to come because of the Saints connection with him and Dan Campbell. So you went out, you got your offensive line fixed, you got your franchise quarterback, you got playmakers everywhere, you got the best available defensive coach last year. You still got your cheeks clapped, period, end of day. Point blank period, as Kevin Shumpert would say. Point blank period, you just got clapped up. I don't get it, Will. I think Ben's being a little petty here. And I'm glad you brought up the chance, Will, because I know you thought that Showtime was over with Uncle Steve today. It's not. I got more to show you. I got one more thing.
Hey, this is a children's show.
Yeah. These are not I'm just going to show you what other people are saying, and then we're going to talk about it. So let me just do a quick little screen share one more time. Mark Ryan, if you don't know who that is, I think he's the new guy with 97-1 the ticket, new to town. I don't know if you understand sports really, but I'm proud that you guys booed Ben Johnson. Good job, Detroit. You can't make your name in this city only to make a conscious decision that makes this city your rival. Punk move. I'm going to guess, William, and I'm purely just going out on a limb here, that Mark Ryan got a job with 97-1 the ticket because the local Walmart was fully staffed and they didn't need any help at the time. Okay. I'm just going to, they weren't hiring at the time. And 97-1 said, hey, we're desperate for people. The only quality guy we have on the show is John Jansen, legend. Love John Jansen. Love listening to him do some draft stuff, football recap. Someone who knows what they're talking about. And I know that's kind of weird coming from two guys in an office in a basement, but it just got me spinning. Like, were we supposed to cheer for Ben Johnson? Were we supposed to stand up and give him a moment of silence? Like, were we supposed to put him into the Ring of Honor right next to Robert Porcher at halftime yesterday? Were we supposed to have a Ben Johnson bobblehead and just a video tribute on the jumbo screen yesterday? I told you guys what it was going to be. On site with Ben Johnson, uncomfortable from the minute he steps his foot off that bus onto Detroit territory. This is hallowed sacred ground, William. You come to Detroit as an enemy, you get booed. You get chance. The FBJ. Fuck Ben Johnson. Matthew Stafford came here a couple years ago. We booed his kids. What did you think was going to happen to Ben Johnson? Now, there's a lot of people in those comments I was reading through saying you guys would have done the same thing if you were in Ben Johnson's shoes. And you are absolutely right. If the rival company that I work for came in and offered me 5 times my salary and a great opportunity, my bags aren't packed fast enough, William. But with that comes expectations. The expectation is when I come back to Detroit, this is going to be the reception. You're going to a rival team that's been very, very heavy on Twitter. All of their fans just remind us that, how the Bears are back every single year. Constantly picked to win the division the last 2 seasons, only to finish 4th. I feel like it was deserved. Now, listen, were we throwing batteries or piss bottles at Ben Johnson? No, we have a line as fans, I hope. We gave him a proper booing, end of day, move on. We won the game. This is the way business works in the sports world. You come to Detroit, you come to a rival team. This is exactly what I would expect to happen. William, do you think that that we're being a little over the line here?
No, I don't think we're being over the line, Steve, but I got to pump the brakes real quick and say, are you absolutely out of your mind? I would not have went to the Chicago Bears. I wouldn't have. And just simply because what he built with the Detroit Lions would make me not want to be in the division. I wouldn't want to see everything that I built twice a season for 1 year, because he probably gets fired after this year. But anyways, yeah, when you go, and whatever, he's gonna go. It's not gonna be good. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. But I'm just joking. He's probably not gonna get fired this season, but it isn't looking good. It isn't looking great. And all of the questions are still out there. And I've been seeing a lot of things on Twitter today about Chicago Bears fans not being happy. I know some fans are saying, hey, we got to ride this thing out. We got to see how Detroit was. They were 1-6, yada, 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 yada. Is he a leader of men? All those questions are out there. I'm not going to pose the questions because he's not our coach and it's not our team, so I really don't care. But the bottom line is this, Steve. When you're talking about that guy, I think that it was dirty for him to take that job and the way that he went about it, because Brad Holmes did multiple interviews talking about he had no idea and he was shocked when he found out that Ben took that job. Again, it's not just the rival employer coming in and offering you more pay. If the Chicago Bears was the only team to offer Ben Johnson, then I would say, hey, listen, you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for your family. Everybody wanted this dude. Everybody wanted him. He could have went darn near anywhere. And he chose to not only go to the Chicago Bears, to go to their podium and say, this is what he wanted all along. This is what felt like home. He was talking about the Chicago Cubs and all of this other bull malarkey. You got exactly what you deserve. Honestly, I don't say his name because I hope he gets his ass kicked every single football game he coaches. That's where I'm at. Because when I'm one of those people, man, when you do me dirty, it's dead to me.
One and done. Huh? Just one and done.
That's it. I just think it's shady, man. I think it's shady to go to a rival team. And I know people before, even when I mentioned it before, they got into the comments, oh, man, you're just hating because he's gone. And, you know, I wasn't super over the moon about these third quarters. That's something that's documented if you want to go back into our podcast and listen to it, coming out in second halves and not being able to score. I wasn't super happy about that. And I mentioned it the last couple of podcasts. I wasn't this, oh my God, he's this crazy genius. I even said that I enjoy Coach Glenn more than him. And I thought that there's a reason why the players voted him the best assistant coach in the league, not Ben. They voted Aaron Glenn the best assistant coach in the league. So I think that he's overhyped, to be honest, man. How can somebody be this wizard and not score points in second halves? He does all the sexy stuff, the trick plays, the razzle dazzle. It was cool. Now the Bears are finding out, man, there's more to football than just trick plays.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know what the struggle is offensively. Like, if you want to just look at the personnel and the players and the names, they have phenomenal offensive players. Offensive line, solid. Caleb Williams, like I said, franchise quarterback, number 1 overall pick. They've invested a lot into the skill players. DJ Moore, they just locked up on a contract. They got Roma Dunze. They had Keenan Allen last year. I know he's not with them this year. They got 2 nice tight ends and Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. Like, I don't feel like, just from a name perspective, that they should be struggling the way they are. So that leads me into another question, Will. Who's more responsible for Ben Johnson's success with the Detroit Lions? Do you think it was Dan Campbell or do you think it was Jared Goff?
I'm going to go with the players on this, Steve. And we've said it before, it's always the Joes. The Joes matter. It doesn't matter how great of a coach you are. You need some dogs. You need that. But it always starts with Coach Campbell at the end of the day. The players have spoke and said, we lost some coordinators. As Aiden Hutchinson said, we still got Coach Campbell. I think that when the face of your franchise speaks like that about your head coach, that's saying something. So I gotta go Coach Campbell, right, followed by Jared Goff. And I don't even want to disrespect him by saying honorable mention, but you got to have Brad Holmes in there too, because he's putting all these ingredients. Yeah, he's putting all the ingredients in. But yeah, Coach Campbell is leading this thing perfectly. There's been a few times that the wheels could have fallen off of this thing and it could have completely unraveled. He's kept us together even through 1-6, even through a tough week 1 loss. All of the noise doesn't bother him. He just keeps us a tough, gritty football team, gets players around who believe and that do it a certain type of way, even though people say that him and Brad are reaching, that it doesn't make sense what they're doing. He just gets the job done, man. So I got to say it's for sure Coach Campbell and then JG, man. Am I nuts or where you at?
I think it's just kind of an opinion. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. Like, I think at some point Dan Campbell gave Ben Johnson, when he was with the Lions, overall control of the offense. Couldn't tell you exactly when that was, but I could just see, like, everything comes through Dan's headset. He could kill a lot of things, but the knowing who to go for it and like what you can do. I think Ben Johnson had control of the offense at some point, for sure, probably all last season, if I had to guess. So who do I think is responsible? I think it's mostly Jared Goff. I think it's mostly the offense, mostly Pro Bowlers lined up and down that offense, from the offensive line to skill players to tight end. Like everyone just made Ben Johnson good. And I get it. Hot name. Everyone wants that young offensive coordinator to come in. It's an offensive scoring league. I don't know, but just the context of what he said, his demeanor, him shrugging off Jared Goff like he had no idea who he was. Like if he bumped into him on the street, he wouldn't even recognize him. I was just like, man, that's petty. Like again, while you're in the NFL season, you're probably spending more time with the people in the locker room and in your meeting rooms than with your own family. So for him to kind of throw a little jab at Jared like that after a loss, I thought it was a little unprofessional. As an NFL coach, you're probably supposed to carry yourself as the highest standard. You're kind of the face of the organization, even though you're not an owner, but you're the one that you're always in the podium after game days. Before, wins, losses, doesn't matter. The head coach is there. I don't know. It just really rubbed me the wrong way. And most stuff with other coaches don't rub me the wrong way. And again, I'm not mad at Ben for taking the job. There's only 32 head coaching jobs in the NFL. He got offered one. No problem with him taking it. Whatever. Hey, we'll see you twice a year. If that's how your team's going to perform, I hope they give you a 20-year contract. It's good for the Lions. So that's all I got for today. Will, you got anything else?
I apologize, guys. I had a day I did not get to dig into the film like I wanted to. Normally, we're trying to move on and start talking about this future team. I don't know if we're going to mention some film stuff. I did see a couple of things in a few moments, only a few moments. I didn't really get to dig in. So maybe because a couple of people messaged me is the only reason that I'm even talking about it, some of the stuff that they saw on the film. So maybe we'll get into a little bit of that tomorrow. Not for sure, but I didn't forget about you guys. Know that.
Yeah. And also, it didn't go unnoticed. Jared Goff, your leap into the stands. We're going to have a talk about that. We're going to sit down and break down the film and see exactly what transpired during that, because I need some answers. Maybe we start looking towards a new celebration. I don't know what that would look. Maybe we start trying the airwalk thing that's trending on TikTok or something. I don't know. But leaping into the crowds probably can't happen anymore. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.